Hello, hello. Can everybody hear me? Let's see. Whoops. Wrong one. How's everybody doing? I hope y'all can hear and see me. It's been a crazy day for me. I have been going since 3:33 this morning. Woke up out of a dead sleep like, okay, brain's awake. And I've been rolling ever since. How is everybody's Monday going? Hey, Eva. Hey, Johns. Hey, Jen. Hey, Deep. Hey, Amy. Hey, Mary. Hey, Erin. Hey, Gupta. Brenda. Tinder. Good to see you guys. Amy. Go-Kart. Let me get to your questions, too. Anybody else? Lee? Leisha? Wonder if it's Leisha. Casey, how's it going? Y'all put in chat if y'all are planning on taking your exam anytime soon and what state y'all are in for me. While I do one more thing before we start. Gotta get on my phone. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Take off this watch. All right. Uh-oh. Somebody already starting today. Hey, Jenkins. Thanks for becoming a member. I hope the exclusive videos are so helpful. Sorry, just send in one more message and then we'll be good to go. All right, done. Let's see. Who else? What else happened? I have a question from Erin. If you see this and have a minute, could you discuss written in example on the top of page 655? Yep. That is, she's asking me to read my own handwriting on my notes she purchased. One good skill for all coders is to learn how to read all kinds of handwriting. But I don't know what the page looks like. My oldest son took the picture, so hopefully it turned out okay and it's not too blurry. But it's just saying that codes 82438 equals a chloride sweat test, and 89230 is an electrical current on a small patch of skin. It collects sweat and for 30 minutes on a piece of gauze. The 82438 438 is the amount of chlorine.
Marilyn Worse has become a member.
Thank you, Marilyn. The amount of chlorine in spinal fluid or other sources, not blood or urine. So there's two different types of sweat test that test for what is it? What is the disease, y'all? Y'all help me out. My brain is not working. You know, I had a workshop yesterday, so I'm always like a zombie the day after. And plus, I went to sleep at midnight and then woke up all of a sudden at 3:33, which was really weird to look at the clock and see those numbers. Cystic fibrosis? Is it cystic fibrosis? I think it's that. Yeah. And probably the SF, which is right after the 82438, I put equals SF. I'm trying to think about what that means. I think I was supposed to write a C in front of it because it's CSF, because that's spinal fluid, the cerebral spinal fluid. That's just the acronym for that. I think I forgot my C, but other than that, there are two different types of sweat test. And if you get the exam question that asks you about the sweat test, the one that says that's got the last two digits of 30 is done by electrical current on the skin. So all you got to do is look through the question for the word of electricity. And if they don't have, or if they're not using electricity, you know your answer is going to be the 38 code, which is your other code, which it's probably not going to be that one, but that's what's going on there. I hope that helps. For sure, for sure, for sure. Let's see, who else? Anybody else got any? Hey, Eva, I'm doing good. I'm just crazy. I had to drive back to Vegas. Y'all know I drove my mom to Vegas on Saturday for her doctor's appointment. Well, today I had to drive back to Vegas. Well, I didn't drive. My oldest son did. And we went to the TSA audit thingy so that you don't have to stop if you're flying at TSA anymore. We went and got fingerprinted and our photographs. We brought our birth certificates and our passports, and they took all of our pictures and whatever. And my son's credit card paid for him to have $100 off of the TSA pre-check-in. Well, it only ended up being $70 for him. So he had $30 left over for me. So then all I had to do was pay $40. And that's all we paid for 2 TSA pre-check-in things. So now if we ever fly around, we don't have to stop and take off our shoes. We can just bypass everybody and go straight to the plane. So that's pretty nifty. I didn't know you could do something like that. You know, I'm 52 years old and I've flown all my life. Never done anything like that. But of course, my children are always teaching me something new. They're like, oh no, this is not how we live. We're going to skip TSA lines. So that's pretty nifty. And we both got it done for only $40. So that's really neat. It's fascinating. Anyway, but I had to drive. Vegas is 2 hours one way from us. So I've been in the car back and forth 2 of the 3 days for 5 hours. And then we had the workshop that was almost 4 hours yesterday. So my brain is fried, guys. Did not have time to prep questions. I do have a bunch of them down, but I have not, with the rationale actually, but I have not audited them to make sure they're all perfectly good for 2023, so you guys will be able to audit them with me to make sure they're good for 2023 guidelines. But I also have some auditor, some risk adjustment codes, and some CCS practice questions for tonight. So it's a mixture of a little bit of everybody: CPC, CCS, CPMA, and CRC. Everybody's going to get a question or two, and or more. I've got pages of them down here, so I just haven't audited them yet. So we'll do that together. I just didn't have time today. We got home at 4. Then I had to go pick up the boys from school and baseball practice and all that good stuff. And yeah, it was crazy. But Erin, I hope that helps answer your question. Let's see. Hey, Lauren, good to see you. Let me see. I'm just reading chat. And no, I'm not on TikTok. My brain cannot function. I know I'm not going to be able to read everybody's chat from 2 chat rooms, so I'm not even going live on TikTok right now because my brain is just not going to work right. Anyway, I will manage through this one on YouTube, but I can't get on TikTok. I know I won't be able to manage that. Megan, a Tennessee girl. I was raised at Bullfrog Corner in Tennessee. If you know where that is, you're a real Southern Tennessee girl, let me tell you. You're retaking your exam. Sandy is on May 7th in Georgia. Awesome. April 22 for Jen in Massachusetts. Don't know yet, but that's okay. Louisiana. My mom took me to New Orleans on vacation. I don't know how old I was. But I blocked the whole thing out of my mind because, you know, you really don't want to take your children to New Orleans for vacation down Bourbon Street or whatever. Not back in the 80s anyway. I was like horrified. But that's typical for just a weirdo teenage awkward girl seeing some stuff, but with their parent. I guess it would have been okay with other kids. That would have been funny. But, oh my gosh, that's my Louisiana story. I need to go back as an adult and really enjoy it. Megan says she doesn't know in Tennessee. Same thing. Do you know where Bullfrog Corner is, Miss Megan? Hey, Jen. Okay, hopefully this year in Florida. Miss McRae, awesome. Miss Edwards is in Florida too. Hey, Deep. Peoria. My grandparents were living in Peoria, Illinois. I spent a lot of Christmases in Peoria. Y'all have lots of pretty snow at Christmas. Tinder, New York. You just took your test this past Saturday. You're still waiting on results. So dedicated here. Again, I'm sure your brain is fried and you just don't want to see another code, but you're so dedicated you're here. New in Kentucky. Awesome. Next month, fingers crossed for you too, Ross. Awesome. And she's in North Carolina. Peoria, Illinois. I knew exactly where it was, Deep, when you said Peoria. End of April or beginning of May in Pennsylvania. Awesome. 15th in person in Georgia. Okay, perfect. June, PA. Are we allowed note paper on the exam? In person? Yes. At home? No. Not even a whiteboard. Thanks for the workshop. You're welcome. It's still there. It's available for everybody to see on TikTok. Hopefully everybody can find it. I don't understand the meaning of the example. Well, Erin, it's just my own definitions of both those two CPT codes. There is no example like a patient of 65 years old comes in for a sweat test, blah, blah, blah. There is no example. Those are just my definitions of what I believe the CPT codes mean. So no example. Hey, Blondie. I have a friend of mine who calls me that. And I'm like, I'm not blonde. I'm a dirty blonde. So I have a mixture of hair colors. Everybody might want to click thumbs up. Oh, you're so nice. Thank you, Blondie. That's awesome. Hey, Juan. Good to see you. Oh, no big deal. No worries, no worries. Just got to learn some fancy code words for what you're saying instead of saying like, let me get my daughter to take some pictures and we'll send it to you. That's like, just be careful where you're publishing that. Somebody might get you in trouble, so be careful. And I'm not talking about my stuff. I'm talking about somebody else's, like a book. But anyway, no worries, Juan. I love you to death. Just want to make sure nobody gets in trouble, of course. Great workshop yesterday. Ooh, it was a long one. Let's see, what else? Wisconsin, still working on structures and functions. You'll be moving there soon. Awesome, Jamie. Good to see you. Hey, SS 2022. For CCS, taking advantage of using specific books like AHEMA books, or does it matter? I know you said it's the best to use AAP6. Yeah, for a HEMA test, absolutely. So let me show you. Let me see if I can figure out how to show you. Let me see what I like. Let me see. Maybe. What is this? Yeah, I want to go there. Let me, hold on just a second. I know the screen's black, but let me get to a website that I think will pop up here. And I got to get logged on. I've got a book for AHEMA that I just love to death. And, you know, if you're going to take an AHEMA certification exam, then yeah, let's do, let me see, where am I at? Do I have VitaSource up? That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Okay. Properties. Okay, let me add a window capture. Yep. And ooh, does that work? That works. Okay. So here's my books. I love this one right here for AHEMA. Love, love, love this book. I wish we had one written like this for CPC, because it's like the whole thing is written 3 times almost. So here's what I wonder if the cover will come up. Okay, so I need the one for 2023, but I love this book because right here under part 1, it does the entire everything from ICD-10, HIPHICS, CPT, everything from a beginner's point of view. If you're just beginning, it's just constant examples of how you start coding in the beginning basics. So the first part is PCS. The second part, of course, is CPT. Then we'll move into HIPHICS. It's just really nice to have that basic. And then you start the whole thing over again when you move here to part 2 and you do intermediate exercises. It's got the whole thing over and over again. My internet will be really slow because I'm streaming on YouTube. So the book's going to come up really slow. But it'll do all of it all over again here underneath part 2, where it'll do inpatient, ambulatory, but it goes through doing CPT again, ICD-10 again, all those different levels all over again with more advanced situations, of course. And then it even has a whole nother, like a third book, where it does super advanced exercises for CCS, but it's all, look how many different types of things it goes into. It goes into every little thing. You can do diagnosis codes, you can do the CPT codes based off all this stuff. I love this book, and I do use it for CPC, but it's a really good one for AHEMA, because a lot of things that I do don't cover, especially the PCS part of it. And they do have some matching exercises in here. I know your guys' last 10 questions is match with 10 answers, the 10 definitions or whatever. So it does have those examples. So AHEMA really does have a really good set of books that are, you know, curtailed to your guys' certification. But CPC exam questions are no different than CCS, really, if you look at the whole heart of things. If I go in here, they have a lot of fill in the blanks on some of this stuff, but look, we've got A, B, C, D here for ambulances, for the minutes, hours, days. You can find A, B, C, D answers in a lot of these. There's a bunch of G ones. I can go anywhere and find lots of examples of the same type of format that is the same as CPC. But I love this one. So back to my books. If anybody's taken CRC, did I have it in this one too? Yeah. This is the book that I love for anybody going to take the CRC exam from AAPC. They have practice of questions, of course, for the that you should get from AAPC. But this book is most excellent for the added material that you need. If you get the study guide and you get the practice exams for CRC and maybe you don't pass your first attempt, this is an excellent book, but it's a big old book. It's got, I don't know how many pages. It's got a lot of pages, but it is excellent. If you really want a thorough knowledge of any risk adjustment, this is super good. Even from page 1, it goes through the simplest terms of what they're doing. They give you examples of what you're doing, and then right after it, they may ask you to code right here in the middle of the chapters, but then they also point out a bunch of tips, and they use diagrams. But of course, at the end of each chapter, you've got a full-on exam. So it's real helpful to see right here. You can just do your practice questions, but also the whole chapter isn't just all reading. There is examples that you can do while you read a paragraph and then you do an example. Read a paragraph and then do an example. That's a little bit better learning for me than having me read a whole chapter and then expect me to do all the practice exams at the end. You know, I like read me a paragraph and then test me on it, that kind of thing. And this book has a lot of that in it, but it's a big old book and it's got more stuff in here than you could ever accomplish, I think. But it's great. I mean, even if you just went to the end of each chapter and did those practice questions at the end. But see this clinical example right here at the beginning of this chapter? It'll have you do it, and then it'll tell you what the answer is and how they got the answer and what they're highlighting in the middle of it. So it's really cool how some of it is, you know, a paragraph. They'll tell you a little info, and then you'll do an example, and then they'll move on to something new. But again, at the end of the chapter, they'll have practice questions too. So there's an audit exercise at the end of this one. It's just one chart, and they'll have you audit it. But anyway, I like that book for CRC. That other one for AHEMA. Bucks is okay. I think the 2023 book was much better than the 2022 book. I didn't really like the 2022 Bucks. The 2023 is a little bit better. It's all right. The CPMA study guide is perfect, of course, for anybody wanting to take the CPMA. And this book for the dictionary reference is really good for E&M. If you want to go into E&M speciality, that's a really good one. But again, it's super thick. It's like 900 pages. And my version may be out of whack for 2023 guidelines. I need to get a new updated one if since we've updated some of those guidelines. But yep, those are my favorite books. Anyway, hopefully that helps answer that question a little bit. And am I here? I don't know if I'm here or not. Bring up my, there we go. My practice questions for tonight. Let me bring back up chat. Okay. Spinal fluid, yes. Spinal fluid, spinal fluid. Okay. Thank y'all for the thumbs up. You're awesome. All right, what else kind of questions? Is there a certain section we should do first for the CPC exam? I'm nervous. Some people say, Jen, that it's a lot easier if you're in person to go through the back of the book and go forward that way, like start on question 100 and then go to 99 if you're in person, because all the anatomy terms and the ICD-10 ones are in the back. It's totally up to you how you do exams. I can't. I have to go question 1, answer 1. I just too much of an auditor. I can't skip around. Plus with the dyslexia, I'm going to bubble in the wrong answer to the wrong question. No matter, at some point during the exam, I'm going to do that. So I try to eliminate the possibility by not going in reverse. On the online exam, they're in bundles, so you can click on any bundle. Like, I only want to do anatomy right now, and those 4 questions will pop up. And then when you get ready to do another section, you can pick whatever section you want to do. I want to do integumentary next. Then you click on it, and it'll give you 6 questions. So you get to pick where you want to start. For the online or in person, some people like to go through it and go super fast the first time and go in normal order. Look at question 1. If it looks like it's too wordy and you're not going to know it right away, just skip until you find a question where you see it and you're like, I know I've done that question. I know what the answer is. And then bubble that one answer and then move on till they find another question that they know what it is instantly. Only bubble the ones that you know right away. And then your second pass through the exam is the one that you slow down and take your time through it. I don't know. Lots of people have all kinds of strategies. This generation has no patience for lines everywhere. Isn't he a good son? He's a good kid. This generation has no, oh, that's so funny. It did. I couldn't think of what spinal fluid meant. Yep. I'm in Knoxville and I've never heard of it. Well, Bullfrog Corner's more closer to Memphis, Tennessee, so that's probably why. I'm a Memphis girl. I even got to go to Elvis's funeral. I was 7 years old. My Aunt Candy was world champion baton twirler for Memphis State University, and my mom is just a rebel hippie. And so they knew the funeral was that day, and Aunt Candy had been on the property a couple of times playing frisbee out on his lawn. And because we lived really close, and my Uncle David used to hop the fence and see him out there in the pool a bunch of times. But yeah, so they just decided to go uninvited and dragged me along because I was there. And we got to go. We got there right in time. They closed the fence right behind us. And we walked up the line and went. But Bullfrog Corner's kind of close to Memphis, Tennessee. All right. I just noticed that I have till 6:30 to schedule your exam. Eva, you can pay to get an extension. I don't know how much they charge, but hopefully we can get you ready by 6:30. You need to be careful. Your testing facility might not test every month either, or every even week. You may have trouble finding a seat for an in-person exam between now and then, so be sure, figure out how you're going to take your exam and start looking if you really want to get it done by 6:30. Nope. John's Adventures says that Louisiana is still not appropriate for young children. Oh, yeah. I remember pointing to some lady standing out there in New Orleans going, "Look at that, Mom. Look at what she can do." And my mom looks down at me and says, "Oh, that's nothing. I can do that too." And I'm like, "Oh, no. I don't want to know that. And I want to go home." Oh, yeah, that was funny. It's one of those things like Arnold and all them guys can do it too. I've never been able to do it. There's just no way. Okay. Mary, I was told for in person, you can only have a personal size dry erase board and no paper. You cannot, Erin, have a personal size dry erase board anymore. No way can you have that. They will disqualify you. So do not have any dry erase boards anymore. They've gotten rid of that. We used to be able to, but not anymore. But in person, you can have scratch paper, and usually your proctors provide it for you, but you can take some. How long after paying for the test do you have to actually take it? 12 months. You have 1 year. Depends too. I've seen some that if you buy it at a real deep discount, then you only have 3 months to take it. So it can be based off that. I just Googled, yep, Bullfrog Corner. It wasn't a pawn shop back then. It's near Horn Lake, Mississippi, which is bucked up to the tail end of Memphis, Tennessee. And I used to ride my bicycle from one corner of Tennessee over there to Bullfrog Corner to get eggs or milk from my mom and then ride back. It used to be a convenience store. And it used to not even have a stop sign. Now it's a pawn shop. Oh my gosh. I know I haven't been there in 20 years. Hey, Tinder. Still waiting on results. You like my bookshelf? Thank you, Deep. Oh, gosh. Still waiting on results. I wonder why we can't have the whiteboard anymore. Because some of the whiteboards had like an advertisement on it, like Walmart or a business name. They weren't completely plain of any English. And then I think some people had pre-written information on them or something. My children are interrupting. What?
I also forgot to tell you we have a game tomorrow.
I know you have a game tomorrow, my love.
It's home.
I know, baby. I'll be there. 5 o'clock. My Jaybird had to interrupt and say he has a ball game tomorrow night. And I'm like, I know. I don't get a day of rest at all. Got to work all day and then Go do that. Okay. I was wondering why we can't. Yep. So the people that are proctoring the exam online, I don't believe English is their primary language. So they couldn't tell if the advertisement or the Walmart logos or whatever was appropriate to have on the whiteboard or not. And then again, I think maybe somebody got in trouble for writing too much information, maybe on the back of it or something, or they got in trouble for writing codes that were on their exam down to have it for later after the exam or something. I don't know what they were doing, but I don't know. Somebody got in trouble, caused it, and we lost that ability. They have you a typable notepad that you can type on during the middle of your exam, but you can't draw on it. And it would be really nice if you could draw on the exam, even with a writing utensil like I do. What's everything you need to take on with your exam day besides book? Your driver's license or some sort of picture ID from a state. You need to have your AAPC or probably an AHEMA number, your membership number. Write it down in your book. A ruler if you're in person because you need to match up your bubbles if you want to. A hand watch of some sort. Not an Apple Watch or Android watch, but one with hands on it that you can, when you're bubbling in your bubble sheet and you finish one row of 25 questions, you need to remember to look down at your watch, see what time it is. If you did not finish 25 questions in an hour, you're in trouble and you need to pick up the pace. Absolutely at home, your room that you're going to be in has to have a door and a lock, and you have to lock everybody out. Be sure and don't leave your door unlocked, because even if the fire department walks in your house and comes in your room, they're going to disqualify you and you're going to lose your exam. Your nieces, nephews, cats, dogs, no pets in that room, and it has to have a door that locks. You need to have an extendable camera that is not attached to your laptop or whatever. It needs to be able to wear on a handle that you can move around, because you're going to have to move that camera and put it underneath your desk. You're going to have to point it up to the ceiling. You're going to have to do a 360 around your room. You can't bring anything with you but your books and a cup of water. And that cup of water better not have any writing on the cup, I guess. In person, peppermints. Unwrap them first, please. Don't bring anything with wrappers. Put them in a Ziploc bag or something, but take you some peppermints. At home, put some peppermint oil behind your ear, because you can't have candy on your desk. They think you're going to be cheating with something written on the candy pieces. I don't know. It's crazy. But nothing but your books. You can't even have a highlighter on your desk when you're at home. But in person, you can bring pens, highlighters. You can highlight during your exam. During AHEMA's exam, in person, you cannot highlight in your books during your exam. I don't know about dictionaries. Some say yes, some say no. Guarantee you for at home, no. You'll have to ask your proctor for that. Oh. All right, let's get through some of this. Thank you, Go-Kart. You're awesome. Yep, I gave y'all a free workshop last year too for my birthday. I think it was Lab and Path too. It seems to be a tradition. All right, what else we got in chat? So appreciative of the free workshop yesterday. Thank you, Jada. Hey, Matos, good to see you. Hey, Jay. This is a great book to have. I will have to check it out. I love your bookshelf. Yay. Hey, Ashley. I'm going to get my CRC after CPC. I'm definitely going to get that book. Awesome. It's a great book. It's so big, it would be difficult to do the whole thing electronically like I have it. I also have it in print form. I really recommend you get it in print form. Get it from Amazon so you get free shipping, but AMA does sell it itself because AMA wrote it. But I think if you were going to really do that book and get to all the examples, just get the print version of the book where they ship you the real book. That online version, it would be harder to do all the exercises the way it shows up on Bookshelf. But I bought it both ways because I'm weird. I like to audit both ways. Somebody said something about AAPC, said no. Let's see. Casey, I plan on taking my books, highlighters, if with me, dry erase board, extra tabs. Yep, you can take extra tabs, I think. Peppermints, some scratch paper, index cards. You can also use index cards to cover up the question in your booklet if you're in person. You just drag your index card over the question so you're not tempted to read any words from it. That way you can go straight to your answers. Look up those differences. Use your sticky tabs to tab where the codes are if they're in different sections of your book. You can see your differences, right? On that little index card, you can write, A, B, C, D, whatever, or just fill in a line for your one-word differences. Take that to your question when you reveal it underneath that index card, and then look for those one-word differences, pick out your answer, and use that index card as a ruler to make sure you're bubbling the correct bubble for the correct question, because the answer booklet is independent of your bubble sheet. So getting the bubbles correct is a thing. So yeah, you can use index cards for multiple purposes during the exam. I'll have to try to demonstrate that process one of these days. Okay. If taking the CPC, does it matter which book bundle we get? Yeah, they're on sale right now for $140 off from AAPC, but they still charge you $74 on top just to ship all that to you, which is crazy. If you just wait for them to come out on Amazon, which is the same dates that AAPC releases them, you can get them for the same price or cheaper with no shipping. But absolutely, you can get them. I recommend if you're taking the AAPC certification for anything, get their AAPC ICD-10, which is on Amazon too, and the hit picks from that AAPC writes itself. There's decision trees. There's a lot more information in both books that no other version has, even Optum. And they pick their questions out of their own books. So I recommend getting AAPC books if you're taking an AAP certification. If you're taking anything else with a HEMA or whatever, any version you're comfortable with. Whichever one's cheapest. The online exam has a calculator. Somebody's gifting. Twinkle's gifting. Oh, Lord. She's giving away some free memberships. I see that. I don't know where my sound went to. There it goes. Somebody's fixing to win. I forgot where I was at with these chats. Yep, you need your ID, your watch. the online exam has a calculator built into the exam, so you're okay. It also has a timer, but it's super tiny and you won't pay any attention to it. Can you skip around on questions on the online exam? Yes, you can, except for when you go for the last 10 questions, which are the cases. So you cannot go back and look at the rest of the 90 questions if you move on to the cases. So the first 90 questions, you can skip around till your heart's content. You can flag questions and say, okay, I can't deal with this one right now. I want to come back to it later. But stop at 90. Don't, and then go back and look at all your flags and fix everything. Once you've got all 90 done, then go do your last 10 cases. Somebody went on to the 10 cases and couldn't go back to their flagged ones. I don't know if that's normal or if that always happens, but it happened to somebody. So I always say, yeah, you can skip around for the first 90. Get those situated. Then the last 10, don't skip around. But don't worry about the cases. Everybody says they're pretty straightforward. No one's had any major issues, and they're not as bad as you think they're going to be. They're definitely not as bad as my cases that I present to you guys. I overdo with those things. But if you can do my cases, which are super difficult, then you're going to pass that part really easy. Taking it in person, and I'm afraid if I go out of order, I'll miss a question. Yeah, me too, Jen. Okay. I don't know if, okay, yep. I just heard the answer. Okay. The in-person terrifies me for the exact same reason, but I want to be able to do the process of elimination. Yeah, and write all over that test booklet. It's such a nice thing. I didn't end up needing it, but I was able to do the process of elimination in my head by the time I did it online. So I've only been to Memphis once with UT Marching Band. All right, Meg, that's cool. That's the same sort of thing that Aunt Candy was doing, the baton twirling. Except for y'all have a harder job at playing an instrument and staying in tune and marching at the same time. Good gracious. It's hard to find a testing location. Yep. John's knows what I meant on John's adventure. I was telling on my mama. Ooh, it's crazy. I'm traumatized. I have PTSD from that. Oh, but yeah. My goodness. I would love to go back as an adult without my mama and go have fun there one time. I would love to. I live in Georgia, and there's no close center by. Yeah, my state testing facility is 5 hours one-way drive. It's ridiculously far. Aaron, oh my gosh, I changed the dry erase board. Yep, they sure did. I don't have much patience for a 4 to 5 hour drive. Jana, I kept wondering where your accent come from. I knew it wasn't an Arizona accent. Yep, Southern girl. Yep. I was actually born in Rome, New York, a long time ago. My dad was in Vietnam, and I guess that's where he was stationed at an Air Force base up there. So, but was raised Memphis, Tennessee. Yep. And then I've lived in Cali and Arizona the last 20 years. I have just followed my gypsy mother around the country. I have to drive to take the test. Can we have highlighters with us? If you are taking your exam in person, yes. And as long as it's not a CCS or a CCA exam, yes. For all you guys asking about testing sites, call AAPC. Yep. They will find you one close to you. Near you, I did, and now I don't have to drive 2 hours and 45 minutes away. Oh, that's awesome. That's a good idea. Tammy said, call them, tell them you're having trouble finding one. They're good at finding something. That's awesome. Which books bundles is best? The Pro Fee. I did get the Pro Fee because I like to have an electronic version and a paper version of of all books. You see that from my, what was that thing called? Vitasource. I get paper and electronic on everything, just so I can hit Control F and find a word that I'm looking for. Or if you guys ask me questions and I look through my paper book and I just need a computer to go look up this word, and then I can eventually find the answer, whether it's in guidelines or somewhere in those 10,000 pages. That's the only reason I get it, is to help answer your guys' question. But would I normally get it in both? No. Eventually, AAPC will allow us to use all electronic books if we wanted to. They're working on that technology now, but that will hinder our note situation. But for now, we're still got paper books, which is great. Just get the books the cheapest way you can find them is my preference, of course, always. Hey, Veronica, can you write practice questions in your book if you reword them? Well, yeah, like I don't write, in mine, like these clinical examples. Oh, let me look. Let me see. Do I have, will that work? No, let me add. Add a video capture. Yippers. Where's my camera? Not integrated. My DO camera. Where'd it go? Okay, that did not work here. I don't think. Media source. Oh, did not work. That thing is what I need to do. Add video capture. That. DO. Nope, just not going to work on this piece of paper. Okay, let's go here or here, maybe. Try to add. I need my oldest here to help me with this. I don't know why some of my documents don't do the camera thingy correct, but some do, some don't. Okay, unplug you, plug you back up. Come on, worky, worky. No, not gonna work. Just not gonna work, huh? Okay. Let me try to add it here. Add camera. Oh no. Okay. Now the computer's frozen. Okay. Won't be able to show you whatever I was going to show you, unfortunately, till the computer decides to like me again. Let's see. What I do is, instead of writing the question, of course, I don't say, how would you code a chlorine sweat test? Of course I don't. I just put example code 82540 for, and I put equals. Patient was at lab yesterday. Creatinine was done. Result was high. It's probably too wordy, but patient asked to return today for repeat. Code second test. And I put the answer down. I changed the color for the answer so that it's always red. And I just put the simple code down, 82540. That was an example from our lab and test from yesterday. Oh no. I'm hoping you guys can see and hear me still, because I'm not sure. But yes, reword them. Don't let them appear to be questions. But of course, write the coding example down. Can you write in the book while taking the test? Yes, for AAPC. You won't want to write too much because you're busy, but you can circle codes, highlight them. That way your eyesight doesn't lose what you're trying to look for. Bring a highlighter color that you've never used in your book before. That way when you do highlight codes, you know on that page, that's the one I'm supposed to be looking up my one word differences on. That way it's easier. Because you'll get lost after looking at, 100 codes all day long. What's on your instant guideline download? So, well, if I could get my Discord, I can't move my screen, I don't think, anymore. Yeah, my OBS is totally crashed. So all I can do is continue to show this Word document, and we can go over these questions, but I can't show any websites right now. But if you go to my website, medicalcodingbyjen.com, you go to the blog. I have the blog from like September of 2022 when we first got our ICD-10 new guidelines. That's like G1 through G38 in the front of the ICD-10 book that go through how you code all those codes. That download is an adjusted version of those guidelines so that the print of that, when you go to the printer and you print it out, will only print out the guidelines starting about, gosh, dog. Come on, I'm just trying to draw. Let me draw. Okay. It will start right, oh my gosh. Okay, it'll start right there and do all your guidelines over here on this side of the piece of paper. That way you've got 3/4 of the paper that's blank, but your guidelines are word for word like they're supposed to be in the ICD-10 book. But this gives you space to write all my notes beside it, all those examples of what I did in my notes, in my guidelines. It's not my notes, of course, but it is the printable version of the guidelines scoochied over so that you can add my notes or your own notes to them so that, and it's all free. You can just go to that blog and you can instantly download it from there. So I don't know if that's what you were talking about, but hopefully that's what you were talking about. Let me see, get back up here to where I was supposed to be for today. Yep, with all these questions. That's the end of the workshop from yesterday. And then I had these questions for today. But OBS, oh, are you talking to me now? There you go. I'm going to cancel that. Discard. Discard. There we go. Delete. Delete, delete. Yes. Okay. Let me get back to Word. There we go. I at least got that thing back up. Okay, if y'all didn't see any of that, I can't tell what y'all saw. But my blog has a free printout where all the guidelines are printed over here just as they come from CMS, but you have all this paper to write all your notes on it. And as long as you only print on one side of the paper and you print out your own guidelines, you can bring those with you for your online exam or in-person exam. Online, I have no idea, but then you can write in all my notes if you wanted to. I personally don't think you really have a lot of time to go look at guidelines. You really need to know them, or you need to move them to the guidelines that are affected. But some people love those things and can understand them, can relate those things to the codes, and they don't need it near the codes. They just need to know where it is written in their guidelines, and they know how to turn to it and look it up really quickly. It's great. But you can print it out where it's adjusted so that you can make yourself more room to write on it. For this particular question, by the way, we're looking for an incorrect answer, of course. And we know this one, I think, is the patient consent, right? Yep. I printed these questions because, is it this one? Yep. If we go to AAPC, yep. And we go to our training and events. We go to CEU search. We go to low cost CEUs. We go to this monthly business magazine. AAPC gives you 20 questions a month that you can practice with the rationale for free if you are a member of AAPC. But they only let you see the last 12 months. The questions from April 2022 are fixing to go away, and we'll never have access to those again. We used to be able to look at all of them all the way back, but they decided not to let us have that anymore and only give us 12 months. Remember, if you have not passed your CPC yet, do not do these quizzes at all. Leave 3 answers blank every time you hit grade. Okay? Every time. If you want to see all of these questions and see all the rationales, great. But when you hit grade, do not hit it for all the answers, because you're going to need these CEUs once you pass. And any CEUs done before you get certified are lost. They will not let you save those and put them towards your CPC after you've passed. Even though you just did them, even if you did them a week before you passed, they're not going to let you. So when you do this and you hit grade at the bottom, make sure you have at least 3 answers wrong, because you can do these and get 2 wrong and it'll be completed and graded. You can see rationales on all these questions right there, but this one's fixing to be deleted in a week. It'll be gone by around the 15th and we won't have access to it no more. So I went through here and pulled all these with the rationale so that we had them, because they're fixing to disappear. So that's why I said some of our stuff may be not current, but hopefully it is. I know this one is. Patient consent. And I pulled the rationale for it. So if you've already got your CPC, be sure you go in there and utilize that area to be able to capture any CEUs you want for free, because those are super handy dandy to have, of course. But please do not answer them if you're planning on passing your CPC within the next 11 months. You can go on and do April's and go on and have it graded. Might as well. But other than that, don't do any more. Thank you, Twinkle. I did not congratulate whoever else has been winning. Let me check on chat. Y'all know my brain is just not good today. Let's see. I was wondering where you're at. Oh yeah, I got to that. Can we use highlighters? I got to that. Can we write practice exam questions? I wish I could get my camera to work. I don't know why it's not working, but I would show you. just rewrite them. Don't write them in question format. Just write something small about the example, especially keywords that match up. Can you write in the book while you're taking an exam? I answered that one. And guidelines. Twinkle gave away a subscription, and Deep won it again. Is that like the third time she's won my subscription? I know she's won before. That's awesome. Congratulations. Which of the following is not information typically included in telehealth internal policy? So this is a CPMA question or a COC question, by the way. It could be on both. Hey, Jana, for my ADHD, you think I could get an accommodation to not use a bubble sheet in person and answers on the test? Nice. Anything's possible, Jana. Call AAPC and see. I know you can get the exam printed in bigger font for an ADA. You could get an extra hour to take the exam. I wonder if somebody could bubble it in for you. But that would be weird too, because what if they get bubbled in the wrong thing? I wonder if they have an alternate way. That is cool. I bet they do. I bet they have to, because that's common. Good question. I will try to find out for you too. But we're going to have to call AAPC. Miss Jen, waiting for my test results. I was shocked when some of the ladies said they didn't even make it to question 70. I told them to come follow you. Thank you, Veronica. I hope I can help them. Yeah, it's crazy. If you're taking it in person, if you finish one column of 25, the bubbles are broken up into 25 each column bubble sheets. It's a nightmare. When you finish the bottom of that column and you're going back up to the top and you're going to go do 26, you need to stop and remember, what time is it? If that took you an hour and a half, you're in trouble. If it took you 2 hours, you're really in trouble. I'm taking the exam this year, but I only have 2022 HIPICs. Do I need to have the 2023? You're okay. You're fine. Hey, Twinkle. I hope you didn't rush for that. Twinkle gave away another subscription, and who got that one? Yay. Awesome. I did one in March. You can always go back. Where was the answers located in the book? Erin, I don't know which question. Yes. We had some cash given to us during last night's, what do they call that? Super chat or super cash down at the bottom of the chat during our live yesterday for our free workshop. So yeah, I sent the money over to Twinkle to have her do that. I've done one question in 55 in an hour and 10 minutes. Oh, so terrible. Hey, go cart. Okay. AAA. Everybody's got A. Definitions of telehealth or definitions of codes. So if you're looking for similarities in this question right here, we do have two that have definitions in it. Standard of care is different. Documentation is different. So out of these, is it a definition of telehealth that we need or a definition of code that we need? So it's B. Next question. For fracture treatment codes performed in their entirety, the provider will be paid for pre- and post-operative services along with the procedure. What is that called? Is it called bundling payment, unbundling, global package, or a couple of those up at the top? What do you guys think? I think I need to have like several lives during the week where all I do is just answer chat questions. And then other days we just do practice questions and I don't answer any chat. That way we get, I don't know, I get to talking and I don't shut up. Yeah, you don't need consent at all in telehealth because the patient is logging on from their home into your system for a doctor's appointment. Just getting on the internet provider, getting into the website, there's lots of consents already there. You are giving consent if you're on your computer trying to see a doctor. That's just a thing. Yep. We're going to do both A and C. It is called global and it's also called a bundled payment. Yep. Perfect. I had this one during the workshop yesterday. I just didn't have the rationale posted. So I grabbed it again and made sure I had the actual real rationale written. But we did go over this question yesterday. And when in the ER, we do not bill an ER visit. We only bill for our casting supplies when we're working with stabilizing a dislocation or a fracture. We only do A. And then I grabbed the rationale for it. Which setting allows split or shared billing under new Medicare rules? CCS people, CPMA people, and COC people question. Probably not a CPC question, but it's helpful to know which setting allows split or shared billing. We have 3 answers that have hospital in it. So that makes me want to get rid of A clinics because I like to look for the similarities, right? Another similarity is this one's by itself and this is 2 things and this is 3 things. So I would probably get rid of B and then I just have to figure out, am I going to be dealing with 2 entities or am I doing 3 entities? Normally, with AAPC, it tends to be the smaller number versus the bigger number. So if you want to be, I know nothing about billing, I have no clue, I would just guess C. It's just how I would do the question. I have no idea what the answer is. Just me. What do you guys think? Y'all like D? All 3? It is D. I would totally get it wrong. But that would have been my guess. Would have been C. I do all commercial plans with all my audits. I accidentally won an award for Medicare last year because some of my managed care ended up bundled into my commercial population. And because I worked up their HEDIS measures, my clinic actually won a Medicare award, but it was only because those people got out of Medicare and switched to a Medicare managed plan that kind of mingled inappropriately with my data warehouse into my commercial population. They didn't have their insurance identification correctly. But I did end up winning a Medicare award last year, but I didn't mean to. Definitely wasn't on billing stuff. For split and shared visits, CMS provides a list of qualifying activities that can count towards time when determining who rendered the substances proportions of the visits, which is not a qualifying activity. We're looking for something that is incorrect. I need to go yell at my children. Well, just Travis. He's supposed to be in his room and he's playing gorilla thing right outside my door. Travis James Michael Brewer, bedroom. Turn that volume off. It's distracting to me. Thank you, do. All right. That was actually Grandma listening to voice messages. Uh-oh. That's okay. I still blamed it on Travis. All right. Preparing to see the patient, the performance of other services that are reported and billed separately, obtaining and reviewing a separately obtained history, or performing a medically appropriate exam or evaluation. Which one is not a qualifying activity? When determining a substantive portion of the visit, what counts? When we are splitting our visits. It's kind of rough. I don't have the whole question. I need to change my font on this one so we can get it all into one screen for you guys. Everybody's guessing. The separate billing. This one's O. This one has P, P, and P. So I would get rid of C because it looks like it's an outlier. Are we performing performance? We have 2. Okay. So now I would get rid of A. Yeah, I get rid of A because of that. So performing or performance, I'm looking for a qualifying activity. Qualifying activity is always a performance because you get paid not during performing. We get paid as a qualifying activity afterwards. So I like the past tense of B. B would be my guess. What do you guys think? I got A, B's, and 1 D. All right, let's see. We got B that time. Ooh, look at that rationale. The performance of other services that are reported and billed separately. Here's our guidelines. Preparing, performing, counseling, ordering, documenting, when not separately reporting, referring, and independently. Yep. Patient. Yep. Care coordinator, provider will not count time when it is right here. Reported and billed separately, and teaching in general, not, yeah, for the teacher. Yep. I remember this. This is in the CPT book in the front. It's way up there. All right. Anybody know their acronyms? What is the most common reason to undergo a TAVR? Everybody knows what that means, right? Or you know where to go to find the answer? I would think you get paid for reading charts. Huh? Nope. Doubling down on B. That's awesome. We're at a casino. Overhire, NOS. Yep. Everybody knows what TAVR is, right? We got our trans cath aortic valve replacement. We got our trans replacement, and we've got an aortic valve. Aortic valve. So if we're aortic, then we're aortic stenosis. Trans-aortic valve replacement. So know your acronyms. The very last page of the CPT book, it's actually the back cover, has a list of acronyms. If TAVR is not there, be sure and write it in. We also need JVD, and what's our other one that's always on the exam? I don't remember. My brain don't work today. My brain is done. JVD, ARDS. If you don't know those, Google them, please, and get them written in the back of the book. Muy important, guys. If you don't learn anything else today, that is the most beneficial tidbit of the lesson 100% today. Google that. Know it. Remember where you put it. Don't forget where you put it. That's important. Transcatheter aortic valve replacement. CCS people and I don't know, just billing. Anybody that's doing billing. I know nothing about an MSDRG. So I would look for similarities still. I would still look for similarities. And because two of them start out with twos, I would just get rid of these two, knowing nothing else. I have no idea what any of this is. I don't deal in any of it. Would I do the 2 6s or would I do the 2 3s? It's a toss of the coin. What do you guys think? Maybe y'all know more about these than I do. I went low last time, and I lost, so let's go high this time and see if I win. What do you guys get? You like SMA and IVA? Amy's going to go against me and pick A. So's Tammy. Any CCS people in here? CPB, that's what I was trying to say. CPB. Alvina Burbank. Yeah, you're at the casino tonight. Yep. Look at Jana. She says AFL, ARDS, AWV, and ICR. Yes, everybody's wanting to know now. You telling us something we really need to know? Or are those just your favorites? You got to speak up now. As I'm writing them all in. Yeah, this is more billing, but CCS would know this one. This one's C, I gambled right. Transcatheter aortic valve replacement. The procedure is assigned the 266. I have no clue, but there you go. All right. Which of the following histories suggest a child is not at high risk for ASD or developmental problems? Those are the ones that Jen has mentioned before that I've written down in the back of the book. Yay. Good job. I didn't have anything written down in the back of the 2023 book yet. I haven't even made it there yet. I'm doing the, I got to finish medicine. Silence as we all wait to hear Jana's answer. She's working on it. She's working on it. Hey, Daniela. Hey, guys. Sorry I'm late. Just want to let all my supportive girlies in the chat know. No way, she passed on her second try. Failed the first by 2%, but got it on the second try. That's awesome. Congratulations. That is so wonderful. Oh, it's trash day. I gotta take out the trash. But that is awesome. Thank you so much for coming back to let us know. I hope we helped in some small way to make it less stressful. I think the first time you take it is more of a learning opportunity anyway. It really shouldn't bruise anybody's ego to not pass it first time. You really need to take it the first time to see what we're talking about and get a really good game plan for the next time you take it and then pass right away. Congratulations. We are looking for an incorrect answer. So an incorrect answer would be C. Doesn't matter if the parents are young or old. Makes no difference. Can increase with advanced age, but definitely not younger. So happy you came back to let us know. That is awesome. Congratulations. Hey, Jody. Can you go over Lab and Path repeat the CPK either tonight or Wednesday? CPK. Yeah. Oop, if I can type. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. You're doing your midterm on Wednesday. So the CPK one was it the code pattern that you're concerned about or finding the answer in the question? So that one was a repeat lab. You know, if you are doing lipase and magnesium on a patient in the ER and your doctor orders them times 3, so we did 1 an hour for the next 3 hours of both lab tests, how would you report it? So it would be reported CPT code for lipase. Then you would do it CPT code for lipase again. Now, the second time you write out that number, you're going to put a dash 91. And because we did it 3 times, this equals 1 test. This equals 1 test. We need to do it 1 more time. So we just hit this one at times 2. Now that we're done with all 3 of the lipase, we need to go do the magnesium. So it would be the magnesium CPT code. CPT code. And then we would write the magnesium CPT code again. Then we would write the 91, and then we would do times 2. And then that would get 2 lab results done 3 times within the same 24-hour period. Just knowing that pattern is super helpful, that you're going to see the code written out twice. The second time it's written out, you're going to do the 91, you do it 92. But yes, let's go look up our what did she say it was? It was control to we are doing CPK. That's right. Control F. CPK. Oh, come on. There we go. Right here. Good. Close. Ignore all this nightmare of me writing and trying to explain stuff. Okay. We're gonna insert. Gonna do this. Gonna get rid of that. We're also going to put on our blinders, and we ain't gonna worry about nothing, right? Our first code is, of course, the same. We're not gonna worry about anything, right? We can look at the codes quickly and look at the modifiers that are on it. And we've got some answers that have no modifiers. This one has none. B and C both have our 91 modifiers. And just knowing that one little fact that our repeat modifier for all repeat labs is always going to be 91. We wouldn't see a 76, and we don't see these times threes like that unless we're in pathology. This code is not in pathology, so we can get rid of those two. Then we're going to take this back and just look at the secondary code right here. So, would we be coding a 52 yet after a 50? Or would we be coding a 50 and a 50? What is our 50? Our 50 code happens to be this CPK code. And if they ordered 3 of them, you know, no matter whatever else is in this question that you don't have to read, that you would never finish that code 50 and move on to another code like the 52. We did 3 of those during this visit. You know we have to rewrite the same code again, is our normal pattern of coding this. We could pick C and move on. And we only looked at these 3 words, and we only looked at the first 2 codes and just 2 answers because we know we only need to keep in lab and path codes that have the 91 modifier when we're repeating them. I explained it. Totally different than I did yesterday. I don't know. Is that helpful? Somebody's giving away more memberships. Thank you, Twinkle. You're doing your midterm on Wednesday. We helped with her test anxiety, she said. Thank you so much for letting us know. That's awesome. What's one huge takeaway I had from the workshop was the repeat lab format. Awesome tip. Yep, I love that tip. Hey, Gupta. Can we do some eye and ocular? I don't have any of those today. Deep. Next time. I always go through the higher RUVs per CPT guidelines. That's good to know. Twinkle gave away and Jody won. Awesome. Congratulations, Jody. I hope it helps you out a whole bunch. Congratulations. I always look for the correct, careful. Yep. Okay, good. Caught up with chat. There was another one that was a repeat lab. I think I wrote it. Not this one. This was the cool one that we had a repeat lab, but you only have one answer with 91 in it. And if you only look right here and see repeat creatinine, you might just bill this, right? But be careful because one was done yesterday and one was done today. So your last sentence says, how do we bill only the second creatinine? It didn't say to bill both. Your last sentences are always super important. So you would know your answer is just A with that one if you slow down and don't just pick that one word difference, which I'm always big on. Go hunt for that one word and move on with your day. Just be careful on the repeats. Make sure they're not in different days. So that's helpful. All right. That was way on up there in all that. Where are we at today? We did that one. What time is it? Oh, good. We got time. We did that one too. Yeah, my writing's all over that mess. We did that. Go high when you're billing. All right. Which of the following would not be reported as an F84.0? So we probably got to go to our... Oh, my 2023 is buried. To the F84 without the zero to see where our do's and do nots are for this. F84. Oh, because if you go to F84.0, it just tells you what it includes is autism, psychosis, and canners. But code is any associated medical condition of intelligence. It excludes underneath. We do get to go see it under our F84.0, so we can go all the way down to there. That's where our excludes is. I thought it was going to be at F84 and no point, but that's okay. At least it's close. So I wish I could show you my ICD-10 book. I need to delete that. Yeah. Delete that. Yep. Delete that. I've put so many cameras on this. Delete. Yep. Delete that one too. We're going to delete that one too. Maybe if I delete all these old cameras, it'll let me put in a new camera. Nope, that didn't work. Okay. Delete. Yep. That one. Did that work? Nope. Let me delete it. Delete. Delete. Okay. Nothing's left except for the Word document. So let me try to add one more. Device. Good. Are you going to work? Nope. It's just not going to work. I don't know why. So silly. Oh well. No other camera laying around hidden underneath there. Nope. Don't know why. I just can't show my camera off today. It's being super stingy. I don't know why. I have no idea. I got it on and up, but no idea. But it won't show me. But you can see your excludes if you open up your book. I'm in the 2023 ICD-10 book of AAPC's version, and I'm on page 589. And we have what exclusion? We've got D as our exclusion. Yep, you guys are waiting on me. Perfect. It just says where the exclusion is, so that's all. How many weeks are MAOs typically given to complete a RADV audit? Anybody that wants to do a CMA, CMPA, do I have it right? I don't know. My brain is dead today. Total fog, CPMA. There we go. How many weeks? We're looking for similarities. We've got a lot of 2s in these answers. You know there is going to be a time limit, so we're not going to pick that. Just where is our 2? Is our 2's going to be in the back, or is it going to be in the front? What do you think? Anybody care to guess? It's definitely not going to be D. Do you think they'll give them 52 weeks? There's only how many weeks in a year? So that's a whole year. Do they work all year long to do an audit? You think about what I tell you guys all the time. Audit season starts in October and it ends the first week of April. I'm trying to do number 4, but I mean April. So it ends the very last week of March and ends in April. I repeat that all the time, that my audit season starts in October, ends in April. So that might give you, it's longer than 12 weeks, but it's definitely not a year. So you can semi-guess what we got going on. Sort of the same thing as my HEDIS audits. They all run in the same genre. We're doing them back to back. I just don't do HCC or risk adjustment, but I do HEDIS measures. So I do commercials. They like to capture those on Medicare patients. Of course, commercial too, but especially Medicare. All right, how is a best chart described during a RADV OT sample? Is it a face-to-face chart, a chart that contains a name and a date of service, a chart type that is specific for a diagnosis being validated, or all of the above? What's AAPC's favorite answer? What's their favorite answer? Well then, 25. I like that. When we see it, a lot of times the answer is always all of the above or none of the above. That's always usually a given. So we can just pick that and not worry about matching up all this mess and see if we got it right. 9 times out of 10, it'll be all of the above or none of the above. Every once in a while, it won't be that answer, but more often it is that answer, especially with AAPC. What is a sign of RSV? Another acronym to know. Appetite, breathing, coughing, insomnia. Looking for similarities. Those two are not alike. Which one of these is most correct? They're usually doing belly breathing. It looks deep, but they're doing belly breathing, not chest breathing. So anyway, cough. Cough, cough, cough. You see that belly pumping, but their lungs aren't moving. Yep. What is the correct way to code acute respiratory failure due to COVID? Like I said, I'm not sure if I have the updated codes for this because it may have changed for 2023, but let's see if we can get that right. I wonder if I got the right code still. My 2023 book is not updated for ICD-10s yet because I haven't done the COVID stuff. I wish I could show y'all my COVID notes for last year, though. They're rockin' awesome. I covered this whole page up. If anybody has trouble even finding the U codes, they're behind the Z codes. So, yeah. They were for last year anyway. Let's check out our 2023 book and see if they're still back there, or did they actually put them in alphabetical order this year? Did they do it? Did they move them? Or are they still in the back? They're still in the back. And boy, did they cut those suckers down. Last year it was 2 columns full of codes. Now we only have 3? 3 codes? Holy heck. They really did update this section. But our UO7s are still there. Our 1 is still there, so it's still there. So that's good. But good gracious, they got rid of codes. So are we going to use our J20 or our J96? That's going to be the difference. Because we know our COVIDs are in the U's. What do you guys think? During my test, I was really thrown off because so many answers were A, like a lot, like so many A in a row. Then a mixture of 4 or 5 A's. That's awesome to know. I will copy that. You took it in person? I know a lot of times the answer is not C. A lot of people think it would be, but it's not. I never found that to be true when I was taking it. Like C was just not a thing. Even though lots of exams, it is C. A lot of the practice exam questions, the answer is B a lot of times, more than a lot of other ones. A, not so much. Very interesting. That kind of info is so helpful. You took it in paper. Good night, Jody. I hope this was helpful tonight. I hope I didn't, blather on too long. Just know that my days after workshops are usually the very next Monday. I am a hot mess, and today is no exception because I have been in a car again going back and forth to Vegas. It is B. BB. No worries, Gupta. I'm not doing very much more. I am exhausted myself. I have been up since 3:33. I'm just shocked that I woke up at that time. Looked at my cell phone and was like, that's a scary number to wake up at, seeing 3 threes. It disconcerted me, and then I was up. I was just awake. Which of the following is only covered by dental insurance and never medical? Sleep apnea, pathology, care related to pathology, dental care resulting from an accident, or none of the above. What do you guys think about this one? Yeah, none of the above, all of the above. They love those. A lot of dental care is not covered, which is crazy since it's a bone. I mean, it should be still covered under health care, I think, but what do I know? Teeth should not be a luxury. It's a medical condition. I think that it should be covered under medicine, and we should not have such a thing as dental billing and insurance, but what do I know? I didn't set up the rules. Oh boy, CPT codes. I don't even know if these are still valid, if they're hernia related, or where are we at? I don't even know if they're still valid. So I just wanted to grab it, the practice question, before it got deleted from our sites ever again, in the hopes that it might be useful for some reason. So let's go look. 418s, where are these at? We're going to look up the differences between the 70s. Yeah. 418, if they're still valid codes. They may not be. 418, 70, 72, 74, and 99. Hot dog, they're all still in here. Is this dental services? We're dental again. Very nice. So, one word differences. Are we Perry, Gingy, Alley, or NOS? Unspecified. What are we doing? What did we do? Oh, what do you guys think? I've never done this question before, so this is one that I've never shown off before, so that's cool. Even though I know I did this exam a year ago, I wonder why I never grabbed this one and showed it to you guys. No idea. What do you guys think the answer is? Yep, pretty easy. All you got to do is match the unlisted word. That's awesome. Very cool. Unlisted codes are never the answer, so that's unique to AAPC. I really liked 2022's practice exam questions out of those magazines versus 2023. They're like, half of them are just garbage, like, what was our meeting about for our retreat? And we did, who said this? It's like, most of us are not at these retreats, and you're just advertising. Why don't you help us code and give us a practice exam question instead of whatever these 10 questions are? I liked the 2022s, and the 2021s were even better. They were all code related stuff. It wasn't conference related stuff. It's true about concerning surprise ground ambulance billing. Another one I have not done for you guys at all. I haven't done any. I know ambulance billing, ALS, and the difference between it and BLS has been a practice question before on an exam, but I've never presented an ambulance. It was billing an E&M visit for EMS, but I don't think I've ever done a question like this in a live. But I've told you guys to be sure and know the differences between ALS and BLS, but I've never actually done a question. So let's look for some similarities. It's the patient's responsibility to research an emergency ambulance. Are we looking for a correct answer or wrong? We're looking one that's true. Okay, so it can't be A. We know that if they're dead on the sidewalk or dying, we can't make it their responsibility, although we're going to pay for it one way or another anyway. All right, so that can't be an answer. Will not pay for an ambulance call if the patient is treated by the ambulance on site and is not taken to the hospital. An independent dispute resolution, surprise bill. No, ain't nobody gonna dispute. Nope, nope. Can we always choose your ambulance? Nope, nope, you can't choose crap. So the only thing I could think it might be is B. Because nobody's gonna pay but you for anything that an ambulance does, unless your city picks it up. A lot of times the cities are your fire department ambulances, and it's all covered through your city taxes, which is nice, and you end up not paying for any ambulance services, but that's rare. What do you guys think? Y'all like B? B is it. Nobody's going to pay for anything but you. I wish we did not have a for-profit healthcare system. It just makes all this ethically terrible, I think. All right, what else? Diagnosis code. All right. Are we a B? See what I'm doing? I got long stuff going on, right? So I'm going to get rid of the B stuff. Yeah. Are we dealing with one diagnosis or two? The way they say due to, a lot of times, every time I see that, we get a combo code that shows up that has both diagnoses in one code. So my guess is we're going to go low this time. We're not going to gamble and do two codes. I'm going to pick C. What do you guys think? What's going on in chat? Over their dead bodies. I had an issue with that, with billing. I did too. My parents did too. Parents had an ambulance come get my dad for some reason, and he only had VA at the time. And there's no VA hospital in this state. He has to go to Nevada in Vegas, 2 hours away, to go to a VA hospital. But they took him to the nearest hospital, which was 2 miles from our house, and VA decided not to pay for the ambulance ride. So my parents paid for the ambulance ride, but I fought the VA and filled out a ton of paperwork, filed the appeal myself for them, and a year later they got a check from the VA for the ambulance bill. And they just gave it to me for Christmas one year. That was nice. But I don't know, it's like $200 we got back from them or something. But sometimes you just have to fight them yourself because ain't nobody else going to do it. Like I could get anybody from the VA to fill out the appeal. It just wasn't going to happen. So, yep. Only because the last one listed two. The VA is worse than private insurance. It's all crazy. It's outrageous. Looky there, just one code. Just think about that. When they say due to, think one code. A lot of times it's just one code. I find that more than two codes. All right, last one, and then we'll go for the night. This is a good CPC one. It's often on the exam. Which oversight organization has begun investigating telefraud? What do you guys think? You like doing appeals. I do too. Especially when you know you're right. It's so much fun. Thank you, Twinkle. Twinkle was getting scolded yesterday during the workshop. She's like, time, it's over. And everybody's like, shh, she can do more. Let her do more. I was like, no, that's her job. She's supposed to be doing that. Let her tell me to stop. Not that I'm going to listen, but yeah, I'm supposed to. Yep, it is D. OIG. Yeah, spelled affected wrong. Oh, good gracious. Come on. Spelled office wrong. Where are all the vital? Good Lord. It's typing fast today. There we go. That looks much better. The auditor needs an auditor. All right. I am going to go, guys, I'm going to go say goodnight to my kids, and I'm going to go to bed. I will see you guys on Wednesday. We'll do 2 hours of better questions, but thank you guys for helping me audit this exam from April of 2022. Looks like we're still good, valid codes. We're going to be all right with these questions, and I've got them saved, so do lose them next week. We've still got the rationale, so appreciate the help. It's always good to hear your voice too, Juan. She's so helpful, guys, in Discord and on Facebook. If y'all need any help, her, Twinkle, and Go-Kart are always answering questions in our Discord group. Post your questions away. Have a good time. Help each other out. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Hey, Kenya. Good to see you. I'll see you on Wednesday night. We'll do 2 hours of practice questions. Let me know what kind of questions you guys want to see, too. I don't have any notes for any wish list. What do you guys want to go over? Well, I got a pen out and available paper. Anybody have any wish list? I just did lab and path. I just did a workshop on cardiology. Somebody said eyes. That's right. Somebody said eyes today. I'll make sure Wednesday I have eye questions. Tomorrow I got a ball game to go to for Jaybird. Anything else? I gotta file my taxes too. God, dog. I gotta get that done. I'm 4 days away. I still have not done it. Yeah. No worries about being greedy. I test on Saturday, just being greedy. Yeah, I got a ball game tomorrow night. Starts at 5. It usually gets done about 6:45. So then we drive home. I know. Anointed, usually she's on TikTok, but I didn't even turn on TikTok. I was too exhausted to watch both chat rooms. I knew I would just get all confused. Which section has the most questions? Guidelines has 7. The other sections have 6. Guidelines has 7 questions, has the most. Eyes, ocular, nervous, and digestion, radiology. All right, guys, I got those down. I will get them covered. Yep. You got it, Tammy. All right, guys. Love y'all. I will see you on Wednesday. Y'all be safe.